How have your friendships changed since having kids? Biggest challenge as a twin parent. How long do you plan to share the twins on social media? How much screen time do you aim for daily? Okay, so let me tell you my one regret from getting plastic surgery. YouTube is the best for me financially. Tips on brushing teeth for toddlers, it's a struggle. Oh, girly girl, I know. Do you ever wish for another set of twins? Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome to the channel. So happy to have you, truly, and if you're new, you're fresh, subscribe. I am working really hard to try to grow my subscribers. I really truly appreciate every single one of you here for following along with our lives. It's so crazy. So you picked a good one because I am going through a bunch of questions today. I have asked you to ask me any questions, anything you've been wanting to know, anything you want me to talk about, to all of you. I have not read these yet, which will make it even the more interesting. Let's get into it. How have your friendships changed since having kids? So I'll definitely say that my friends who don't have kids, those friendships have changed the most, of course. Friends with kids get it more, even if you don't have kids and you think you understand. When you go through it yourself and it's your own kid screaming, crying, throwing up, blowout, needs food, tantrum, hitting another kid, like, you've been through it, and then you have like empathy and just like patience and total understanding. Like, you do what you need to do for your kid first. And maybe if I had one, I remember when I found out I was pregnant with twins, that was one of my main concerns, was like, how am I gonna go do anything? Or how am I gonna go over to a friend's house for dinner? Like, if I had a little baby in a carrier, I could do that. We could take shifts, Alec and I. No, not with twins. We like each have one all the time, and I can't talk to you while dealing with my two children, you know? Versus my friends with kids, literally, sometimes we hang out. I literally don't know if we really talk to each other. We're just like parenting in the same room together, which is funny, and like, that's fine. And you get it, you know? I wouldn't say I've lost any friends since having kids, but the friendships have changed for sure. And the frequency that I see my friends, all my friends, is less. And then the ones without kids, even more less. Good sentence. What did you take to get pregnant again? I did progesterone to start my cycle, and then letrozole to grow eggs big enough to ovulate. I had to do that twice. It didn't work the first month, but it did the second month. What kind of sleep sacks do you use for the twins? Okay, so we use Kite sleep sacks, but literally, like the last 2 days, we put them to nap or bed, and they're like, no sleep sack, no sleep sack. So we haven't been using them, and it's been totally fine. They're 22 months, so I don't know if we're done using sleep sacks. I was planning on keeping them in sleep sacks as long as I could, because it keeps them from like jumping out of their crib easier, stuff like that, and then it's warmth. But I don't know, like literally like within the last 48 hours, they haven't been using them. So if you are looking for them though, I like Kite. Is there anything you would change about your house if you could? Yeah, I wish our walls were white. Everything in our house is gray walls, gray carpet, gray floors, gray ceilings. So I feel like then everything I purchase for the home is like white, to make up for the fact that everything like on the house is gray, but then white's hard to keep clean, kind of. White's also easy to clean, but it looks dirty quick. So I wish everything was white. And I wish we had a 3-car garage. Our garage is so full. And we both have like SUV sized cars that just barely fit in the garage. And I'd love to have like a 3rd-car garage to have exercise equipment and a bigger backyard so I could have a play set, because I don't think we can have that with our HOA. Biggest challenge as a twin parent. So I feel like a lot of twin parents talk about how it's hard. You know, like if one baby's crying and you can't help them because you're helping another baby who's crying. And I didn't really feel like that was actually that big a problem until recently. I think when they were a baby, I was just so practical. It's like, I literally can't help you right now. Like, I have to help Hudson. Harper, I'll be with you as soon as I can. Like, I don't know, I was just like in the zone. But then now, almost at 2 years old, they're so aware. They are sponges. They hear everything we say and pay attention to everything we do. It's wild. So I feel especially bad when they both need me at this age, because they're very aware of the fact that like I'm helping Hudson. Mommy's not helping me. So that's been harder for me recently. Just having two is really hard. Like just one will be happy while the other one is sad. So then you help the sad one and then something happens and the other happy one then falls and that one's crying. Then you're helping that one. Then the other one wants a snack and you just feel like you're literally helping one of them all the time. You're never just like sitting there watching your little baby play. That baby's playing while this baby's falling and then they swap. So the constantness of it is hard, but I don't think of that in the moment. That like, I think of it now when I'm like digging deep, but in the moment you just do it and you're okay and you're fine and you do it again the next day and the next day and the next day. How long do you plan to share the twins on social media? Good question. I try to be very mindful of what I share on social media, whether, you know, it's the amount of clothing that they have on. I try rarely to ever show, especially Harper, if she's not wearing a shirt or something like that. So I try for safety reasons never to show like street signs in any pictures. I do delayed posting. I rarely ever post where I'm at when I'm there. So as far as that aspect, I try to be extremely aware of safety on social media. I feel fine as their mother and guardian sharing them on social media. I know there's, you know, YouTubers like Tara Henderson, I love her. She shares her kids on social media and there's certain things that she keeps private that they've gone through as they've gotten a little bit older, but she shares their faces and pictures. It's part of her life and she's sharing her life and that includes them and she feels comfortable with that as their mother. And then there's like Amber Fillerup, who recently over the last year has stopped sharing her kids' faces at all, even her new baby, up to her son who is maybe like 6 or 7, I'm not sure. I don't know yet. I don't intend on stopping anytime soon. I enjoy creating this content. I feel like I'm creating memories for them by sharing online. There's been nothing that's come up so far where I've felt that I don't need to share it. I really enjoy being a resource for people online. I love hearing your stories. I love talking with you all about your twins, or if you've gone through things like IUGR or like Hudson's tear duct surgery. I love being able to share my experience with all of you. So, so far it hasn't been an issue. I imagine there will be a point where I feel it's appropriate to share less of them, but I don't see that happening for a while. How do I get Harper to sit still while I do her hair? I sit her on the changing table. She can look in the mirror, watch me. I usually give her a toy and we count, like I'll be like, okay, we have to do the rubber band 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have one more. So, stuff like that. Sometimes you just have to get her done. Sometimes it looks really messy because she's like over it and I'm doing the best I can to get that rubber band around that little sprout of hair. How much screen time do you aim for daily? I feel so guilty over here. Don't feel guilty. It is totally fine to go through seasons and that's what I do. I do not have a time limit right now. I do try to be mindful of it. I do try to do it as little as I can. That being said, there are some days I'm just like dead or there's so much I have to do. Or some days they're just fussy to the max. And honestly, I do feel like the more screen time they get, the fussier they are. Like it doesn't calm them down usually. If they get too much of it, then they get upset when it's turned off. I do not feel bad about using it when I need it for my sanity or when I have something I really need to get done. Or if they're just really unwell, tapped out, I'm fine with using it. They don't also watch it for that long at a time. Max 20 minutes maybe. Hudson can watch TV. Harper does not like it that much. So she'll watch maybe 5 or 10 minutes before she gets up to start playing with another toy. Hudson can sit there for like 20 or 30 minutes. So can you explain why you got your nose job and chin implant and if you have any regrets? Okay, so let me tell you my one regret from getting plastic surgery. I got a nose job and a chin implant when I was 18, between when I graduated high school and went into college. My weak chin was always something I was self-conscious about. And I do think had I not gotten that, I don't think I would have gotten the job at Disneyland. It did change my face structure, gave me more of a chin. I just had like, it kind of just went like straight down. I don't even have that big. I mean, it's not like it's that big now, and it is definitely still something I'm very self-conscious about. I just don't have a strong jawline, but my regret with my nose job is that it's not small enough. And this sounds so dumb and vain. I'm not encouraging plastic surgery, but I had it. I went under the knife, did the whole thing, and I feel like what was done was so minimal. I think because of social media these days, it of course can negatively affect people to feel like they need plastic surgery to look a certain way. But because I was 18 when I got my nose job, it was like, I didn't really have like inspiration for like what I was going for. It was basically just to shave down a little bump here and make the ball of my nose a little smaller. And I wish the ball of my nose was still a little bit smaller since I did the whole thing, and it really doesn't look that different. I think at the last minute, me and my mom panicked a little to the doctor and we're like, don't do too much. So he didn't. So, but that being said, I love my face and I don't plan on doing anything else to it. Do you think you'll ever go back to work? You're full-time stay-at-home mom. Are you gonna go back to work? When will you go back to work? A lot of these. I do not plan on it right now. I don't feel like I ever truly used my degree to the fullest extent. I did a handful of jobs after getting my degree. I'm thankful I have my college degree. I feel good about that. And that's also where I met Alec. So obviously that was all meant to be, but I don't feel like I had like a career before kids. The idea of homeschooling isn't totally out of the question for me. So then that would impact a job in the future. Thankfully, Alec is a fantastic worker. He is so smart in the financial industry. So, and I also really love what I do on social media and YouTube, which brings us to this question, goals for YouTube. I would love to really like totally focus on YouTube. Instagram is super fun. I feel like that's where I get to really share our daily lives with you. But as far as like business is concerned, YouTube is the best for me financially. You know, it takes the most work, which is why you can charge more for sponsorships, or, you know, ad revenue is awesome. So that's why I say every subscriber counts so much, because this brings me so much joy. It helps me be able to stay home with the twins. So when you subscribe and you watch my videos, like it literally, like, it means so much to me. So my goal for YouTube is just to continue to grow my subscribers. I would love to be able to like really hone in on what it is that all of you want to see from me. I know from what you said on Instagram to me that you love watching day in the lives. So comment on this video. Tell me if there's anything you would like love to see more from me, because I'm happy to share more in the direction of what you want to see based on what I've put out so far. So who knows? I don't know if I would start an additional like type of business, merch, freelance. I don't know. I'm open to it. How many kids do you want? Lots of questions in here about having more kids. I don't know. I wanted to, but because I had twins, part of me feels sad that there's no like older, younger sibling dynamic, or like getting to reuse things. But some days are so hard that I can't imagine having a third child. I really love having the twins. So I don't know. I do not know. Did the twins ever co-sleep with you? If not, why did you not let the twins co-sleep with you? It just didn't really feel practical to have two little babies sleeping with us. Alec was really stressed by the idea of that. It was not ever something I wanted to do. We had snoo bassinets, which were super nice, and I was happy using those. I never felt like I was missing out on bonding with them by not co-sleeping. Even like naps or anything, they've always just liked to be set down. They don't really like settle in when I'm holding them. Maybe they'll fall asleep for a little bit, but they're up within 10 minutes, like moving around. Then they realize they're laying on mom and they're kind of awake. So the only time Harper has ever slept with me overnight was recently when she had the stomach flu, and I did not sleep either. Like if they're sleeping with me, I cannot fall asleep. So I'm all good with no co-sleeping. I know there's a whole safety aspect to it too. I have friends who do co-sleeping. It's just not for me, and that's okay. Any health concerns with Harper since the pregnancy complications? I did post an IUGR update recently on my channel you can watch, since she had such severe growth restriction when I was pregnant. Since then, spoiler alert, no, there really has been nothing. They were afraid of failure to thrive around a year, because she's always been upward. Her trajectory, her growth for height and weight has always gone up. It's just been low, like 3%, 8% compared to an average of 50%. She's just been bottom of that, but it's been going up, but it kind of started to like plateau a little bit, but she keeps going up as far as we know. I mean, she's growing out of her clothes, so I'm not concerned. She's just little. How long did you breastfeed twins? They were exclusively breastfed until 6 months. I started supplementing with formula slowly, and then at 10 months I stopped breastfeeding and pumping, and we used up what was left of the frozen breast milk in the freezer. Tips on brushing teeth for toddlers. It's a struggle. Oh, girly girl, I know. Sometimes you literally just have to like put them on the ground, straddle their arms, and brush their teeth. Like, you're the adult, you need to be responsible for their hygiene, including their teeth. Make sure their molars are clean at the end of the day. And if they refuse to let you do it, you have to do it. It's just a non-negotiable. That being said, something that I feel like has helped us is getting little electric toothbrushes. I can link those below. Hudson has a little tiger, Harper has a penguin, and they actually don't usually act like it when they're turned on. We just, like, it has like 3 settings, like a light, and then a light with the buzz, and then light with a stronger buzz. So each night we go, do you want buzz or no buzz? And they always say no buzz. And we're like, okay, no buzz, say ah. So I feel like just letting them have that control, just being able to say no buzz, I feel like that helps them have an easier time with it. But that's probably only been in the last like month or two. Around 20 months old, they started not putting up such a fight. Hudson still is not a big fan though. 3 more questions. In your limited free time, what do you enjoy doing? I like to watch shows. Alec and I love reality competition shows like Survivor. We love cooking shows like Next Level Chef. We love Shark Tank, Mandalorian. We love Netflix dating shows. Honestly, a lot of my free time is made creating content. I film and then I edit in my free time, majority of the time. I feel like between those 2 things, it's like what I do. I'd love to read more and be creative, like color, draw. I love like art. I don't really have time for that right now, and I don't feel bad about that. That's okay, but I'll get back there. Last 2 questions. Sweetest age and most challenging age for your twins. I think every age so far has been our favorite. And as they get older, you just have different challenges, obviously, but like right now, it's so fun. They're talking more and more every day. Hudson sang for the first time today. Harper was playing Let It Go on her little Elsa castle, and Hudson started singing Let It Go. So Hudson, you can remember that forever, that your first song you sang was Let It Go. But like, it's so fun to watch them do so much at 22 months old. It's really cool. So every age has been the best age. I mean, the baby stage is so fun, but I honestly prefer them being more aware. I feel like I'm using a different part of my brain. Like when they're babies, like up to a year, I feel like it's physically hard. Like, you know, they might be breastfeeding, they're not sleeping well. Newborn nights with twins are tough for sure. And again, that's like physically tough because you're trying to keep them on a schedule, but there's really no semblance of a schedule. You're just like doing your best to wake them and hope they sleep at the same time. I'd also say 18 months was really tough. Pretty recent to what we've been in has been tough because of the stability with learning to walk. Like so many bonks, they still fall a lot. Hudson has been really bad with falling. He'll just like run into a door frame, like really not stable. And that's been really tough with twins because I just can't help them. Like I'll be helping Harper with something and all of a sudden Hudson runs into the door frame. Or like I'm holding Harper's hand and I look over and then Hudson trips and falls. It's like, I can't help you. Like all the time, constantly. I'm doing my very best. So that's been tough. But that being said, the pros far outweigh the cons still. Okay, last question. Do you ever wish for another set of twins? I do not wish for another set of twins, but I don't think I would be as upset. I saw another question here asking how I felt finding out it was twins because they found out and they're freaking out. I have lots of videos on that. You can go watch them. But long story short, I was not happy to find out I was having twins. I was so freaked out. I was so stressed. I did not want to have twins. I was like, this is not the plan. I don't want to have to care for 2 at once. Now, I can't imagine not having twins. Totally was made to be a twin mom. And if you're having twins, you were made to be a twin mom too. And only twin moms get it. Not in a mean way to any other kind of mom, but like, you get it when you are one. There's just things you go through, and the balancing act and the patience and your capacity to handle so much at once is so high. We are awesome. I don't want twins again, but if that is God's plan for my life, then I guess I'll have twins again. But that brings me back to my other question earlier of whether or not I want more kids. You know, like a little teeny tiny part of me thinks it'd be really funny to have twins twice. That would be quite the story. I think Alec feels differently. He might make a run for it if I have twins again. Okay, we went through a lot. Hopefully you're still here. If you are, thank you so much. If you're still here and you aren't subscribed, that is your reward. You get to subscribe for making it all this way. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.